Fair rides, with their extreme G-forces and sudden drops, promise an exhilarating ride on the way to adventure. But what if this exciting journey took an unexpected turn? Literally. Every summer, the Ohio State Fair transforms the fairgrounds into a vibrant display of joy and excitement. Amid the myriad of attractions, the rides reign supreme, offering everything from the gentle sway of the Ferris wheel to the dizzying spins of the tilt-a-whirl. For thrill seekers, the Fireball stands out. Known for its audacious design, the Fireball is not for the faint-hearted. It swings like a pendulum while simultaneously spinning riders in circles, challenging the bravest of souls to keep their composure amid the whirlwind of forces. Manufactured by KMG, an esteemed company in the amusement ride sector, the Fireball is a fixture at many fairs and is celebrated for its blend of adrenaline and engineering. The Ohio State Fair represents the epitome of summer joy. It's here that memories are made, even some we'd rather forget about. July 26, 2017 dawned clear and warm, a perfect day for the Ohio State Fair. Excitement was in the air as families and groups of friends poured into the fairgrounds. The fair was bustling, a record attendance reflecting the idyllic weather and midsummer allure. As the day wore on, the Fireball ride operated continuously, its passengers screaming with delight as they experienced the exhilarating highs and lows. Each cycle of the ride drew a crowd, a mix of eager onlookers and those mustering the courage to take their turn. Just as the evening began to hint at the golden hours, tragedy struck without warning. In a heart-stopping moment, as the Fireball swung its occupants through the air, a loud crack pierced the air. An entire fully packed gondola snapped off, catapulting it and its riders through the air before crashing down onto the concrete with terrifying force. The scene shifted instantaneously from one of carefree fun to horror and chaos. Many rushed forward in a desperate attempt to help, while others froze in shock. Emergency services responded with commendable speed. Within minutes, sirens wailed as ambulances and first responders made their way through the crowd. Several were seriously injured, and one was pronounced dead on the scene. The tragedy of the Fireball ride was rooted in the catastrophic failure of its structural integrity. At the heart of this disaster was the corrosion that had stealthily comprised the ride's support arm. Over time, this critical component, which bore the brunt of the mechanical stress and environmental exposure, began to weaken due to rust. Corrosion, the gradual destruction of materials by chemical reactions with their environment, had eroded the metal's thickness to less than 3 millimeters, reducing its ability to withstand the forces exerted during the ride's operation. The physics of the Fireball ride contributed uniquely to the strain on its structure. As the ride swung its arms through the air, combining vertical and rotational motion, it subjected the support beams to complex dynamic forces, all acting simultaneously and repetitively with each cycle of the ride. Normally, these are within the safety limits for the ride's design. However, with the integrity of the metal comprised by corrosion, the resilience of the structure was fatally undermined. On the day of the accident, as the ride reached its peak speed and the gondola swung downward, it was at this critical point of maximum mechanical stress that the corroded arm reached the limit of its reduced load-bearing capacity. Unable to support the dynamic loads, the arm fractured abruptly. This catastrophic failure resulted in the detachment and subsequent crash of the gondola when the physical forces exceeded the remaining strength of the degraded material. In the United States, the oversight of amusement rides involves a patchwork of federal and state regulations. However, federal oversight does not extend to fixed-site amusement parks, leaving a significant amount of regulatory responsibility to the individual states. This decentralized approach can lead to inconsistencies in safety and inspection standards, potentially leading to failures such as this tragic event. In the case of the Fireball, the ride underwent the usual inspections required by state regulations before the fair opened. However, these inspections primarily focused on visible and operational aspects of the ride, overlooking deeper internal issues such as corrosion. The tragedy highlighted a critical oversight: the lack of thoroughness in inspecting areas prone to internal damage not easily seen by the naked eye. Compounding the regulatory and inspection deficiencies was a design flaw in the Fireball itself. The arm's structure, which should have been impervious to environmental elements, was not adequately sealed against moisture. This design oversight allowed rainwater to seep into the crevices of the ride's arms, accumulating unseen inside. Over time, this trapped moisture facilitated the aggressive internal corrosion of the metal. In the wake of the Fireball ride disaster, the question of responsibility looms large. Firstly, the responsibility of the manufacturer, KMG, is undeniable. They designed and built the Fireball, and it was their duty to ensure that every aspect of the ride was safe for public use, including resistance to environmental factors like rainwater. Inspectors, too, bear a significant share of the responsibility. While they followed protocol by conducting visual and operational checks, their inability to detect the hidden internal corrosion raises concerns about the thoroughness and adequacy of existing inspection processes. Lastly, lawmakers must also be held accountable for the regulatory framework they establish. The decentralized nature of amusement park ride regulations in the US likely contributes to gaps in safety protocols. Lawmakers should advocate for and implement a more uniform and stringent national standard for amusement ride safety. Therefore, the blame is not isolated but shared among the manufacturer for their design oversight, inspectors for their surface-level checks, and lawmakers for not enforcing stricter, more uniform safety standards. Each entity has a role in systemic failures that led to this tragedy, but who do you think was to blame? In the aftermath of the Fireball incident, numerous lawsuits were filed by the victims and their families, some permanently disabled by their injuries. However, KMG was found to be legally immune because of a state law that says manufacturers aren't responsible for products older than 10 years. In response to the mounting legal and public pressure, KMG took definitive steps to rectify the deficiencies in their ride designs. Acknowledging the design flaw that allowed rainwater to seep into the ride's arms, KMG developed and deployed an updated arm design for the Fireball. This new design effectively eliminated the issue of rainwater leakage, incorporating better sealing techniques and materials to prevent internal corrosion. This technical improvement was part of KMG's broader efforts to enhance the safety of their amusement rides and restore public trust in their products. These actions, both in the courtroom and in engineering, marked a significant step towards making amusement rides safer and preventing future tragedies. But I'll tell you, I ain't getting in one of these fuckers anytime soon. How about you?